Hi guys, good morning. It's NAMM 2020 still, it's the last day, and we're here with our buddy Eli from Rock. He's the man behind everything, and he's going to take us through the line. So Eli, can you tell us what these nice colors are about?
Yeah, absolutely. This year we released an updated version of our TS1 amplifier. This has been out since about 2010, and it's been a good flagship kind of, ODS, cascade and gain stage kind of amplifier. And this year we gave it our Rock layout. We added a foot switchable FET, updated lead channel, a little bit more open, and we also put a full tube buffered effects loop in the amplifier with individual send and return levels, as well as bypass on the send and return, so you can run it as a passive loop, a half buffer loop, or a full buffer loop. Makes this a really good gig and amplifier, a lot of applications.
Okay, so could you explain what the TS stands for so people will know what this is about?
Tone Secret.
Tone Secret.
This is our Tone Secret amp. Like I said, it's a cascade and gain stage, overdrive special kind of vibe is what it started off with, but it's really evolved into kind of a Rock, our version of what that circuit was.
So a lot of customers are sometimes, they are a little puzzled what the differences are. If you would compare this to the, let's say, the center of the line, which is the classic reverb, what would you say about this amp?
Well, if I was going to compare this to anything, it would be closer to BLOOMFIELD, because those are both our two-channel amps. The classic reverb is a single-channel amplifier, really nice sparkle on the top end. The two-channel amplifier lineups that we have is going to be the TS1, which has no reverb. It's a much faster kind of immediate attack. And then we have the BLOOMFIELD Drive over here, which is our other two-channel amp, which has reverb. It's a little bit more bouncy on the bottom end. So just a different application of what you're looking for.
Okay, so who do you sell this amp to, as opposed to the BLOOMFIELD?
Well, someone that wants more of a traditional overdrive kind of sound. Someone that wants a faster attack. It's a little bit more immediate, has a faster power supply.
So more direct.
It's more percussive. Someone that wants to use outboard effects. Anything, any modulation, anything in the effects loop. This is going to be a really good amplifier for that.
So would you advise to put, let's say, overdrives, distortions in front of the amp, and the rest like delays and reverbs?
Yep. Delay, reverbs, tremolos, those sound good in the effects loop.
Okay.
And then fuzz faces and overdrives in the front of the amp.
Okay, so the next amp down is the BLOOMFIELD. You told us a little bit about that already. It's a very popular amp. I know that Matt Schofield loves it.
Yep.
He plays everything when we do a show with him. But what can you tell us more about this amp? How did you get to? The BLOOMFIELD name is from a street, right?
Yeah, this is actually the original shop is over there on BLOOMFIELD Drive, so it's kind of a place close to our heart. This is a cascade and gain stage. This is what Joey Landreth and those guys really like to use. It's got a really nice reverb circuit that doesn't interfere with the overdrive channel, so you can run a pretty nice wet reverb and still not get in the way of it. Sounds really good at low volumes, and any of our amplifiers are available in 100 watts, switchable to 50 watts, or straight 50 watts with a fixed and cathode bias on it, or 40 watts, 466 to 20.
Yeah, and then the Showboat, which is a new color also, moss green.
Yes, moss green. This is a manly amp.
Yeah.
So this is
it's not for the faint of heart.
No, this is for ultimate clean headroom. To get a vacuum tube to not break up and retain that clarity and that big bandwidth is a really hard thing. So this is 150 watts, 465 50, also available in 100 watts.
Would that be like a showmanish or bassmanish sort of?
No, it would be more in the line of a twin or something. That has a lot of clean headroom, a lot of max headroom, but it's a little bit more comfortable than a twin. Twins can be a little sterile sometimes on the low end. This is a little bit more bouncy, and it also has a lot more tone shape abilities than a Fender would have. It has these filter switches that are after the EQ that do low cuts and high cuts. So really
and
good.
It comes in 100 and 150 watts.
Yes, both with half power switches.
You thought, why not?
The only thing stupider than a 100 watt amp is getting 150. If you're going to do it, just do it.
Okay.
I love them, but I do want to point out that these amps do sound very nice at low volume, as you heard yesterday, and you've had them in your shop.
Well, that's a lot of questions when I get from customers. Is it not too loud? I said, well, there's a volume knob. You can actually use it at any volume. I use my classic reverb actually on a very low volume when I'm rehearsing, and it sounds just as good.
Yeah, we're using the wattage for clean headroom and bandwidth, not to blow you up in the face.
Yeah, clear. Okay, move on.
So, classic reverb.
Yeah, the good old classic reverb.
Classic reverb signature is really kind of our flagship amp. When you think of Rock, this is the amp that a lot of people think of.
And it's all actually in the middle, right, of everything.
Yeah, middle of everything, but it's A lot of tone shape and tweakabilities, more gain on the front end than you would have in, say, the traditional clean or the Sterling. You can really push this amp into some nice overdrive tones. Also has a three-position gain structure switch, which changes the amount of gain in the front end. This is a very versatile amp.
Yeah, cool. Well, we know this amp. I mean, it has the exact right amount of switches. I mean, it looks like a lot, but when you set it, you actually never touch it again. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, it's very, very versatile amp. Of course, it never high gain, but it's not meant to be. You know? And then the traditional clean, of course, which is a different name from an amp that you made before for a certain artist.
It's similar to that. It's really a plug and play, just pedal platform. Some guys don't need foot switches, don't need a bunch of dip switches. They just want to set a nice clean tone and plug a pedal in.
Yeah.
And it's really good seller, very fun amp.
Because all your amps take pedals exceptionally well. Why is that? Is it just good components, or what is that?
Yeah, we put a lot of effort. We're all pedal junkies, so we do put a lot of work in the input stage of the amp to make sure they work nicely with fuzz faces and overdrives.
Because that's always the challenge, right?
It's definitely a challenge, yeah.
So I see something very nice on top, which is the Eli one.
Yeah, it's got a killer name. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
This is a buffered effects loop. All of our amplifiers, with the exception of the TS1, has a passive effects loop. So if you're running effects pedals on your pedal board, you're going to have some signal loss and degradation. This boosts that signal back up.
Okay, that's cool.
And it's all tube circuit.
So is that available for Europe too?
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. Then a very nice color, British Racing Green, if I'm not mistaken. Studio Signature, which is one of our best sellers. It's actually a miniature classic reverb, right?
In a sense, it has the same feature set as a classic reverb. It's built very similar, but yeah, has the gain structure strips on the back. Really nice amplifier, 35 watts, 2.6L6. So
it'll do the trick anywhere.
It's deceptive. It's the opposite of what the Sterling, which is you look at it, you think this is too much. A lot of people look at this and they think it's not enough.
Yeah, it's certainly enough. I know.
So this is a really nice amplifier.
Okay, and then of course the combo versions, also the 4020 Bloomfield drive, which looks rather plain next to all these exciting colors. The exciting colors are always available, the suede versions, but they take 6 to 8 months, if I'm correct.
Yeah, all of our amplifiers take quite a time. A lot of guys like the plain look. You know?
Yeah, it's simple. It doesn't stand out, but it does the job. I mean, that's correct.
Yep.
And I also see the nice bags, or
yeah, these are really nice. You know, the overhead bags and whatnot. I take this, on airplanes with me because this fits my overhead compartment. So if I want to take an amplifier for a fly-in gig, take this amp, stick in the overhead compartment, and you're good to go.
And the Racing Green, is that a standard color? There's no upcharge?
There's no upcharge on that.
Okay, cool. Are there any other colors apart from the cream here downstairs?
We do. I mean, reach out to Max Guitars and you can get just about any color Tolex or suede or finished it year after.
So the last thing I want to tell my customers is, because a lot of customers are really waiting for amps always, but it's not because we don't want to sell them amps, it's just because these guys are so busy and their lead time has gone up from, let's say 2 years ago, 3 to 4 months to 8, 9, 10 months sometimes, because everybody wants these amps. So if you do want some of these amps, please be patient and we'll get you the exact dream amp, because that's what they are. So thank you for this interview. Short, but sweet. And keep them coming, I would say.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye, guys.